this video, we are going to talk about how the Clear controller can communicate and control pool equipment, such as pumps and salt cells, the Clear chemical probe, the pressure sensor, all over 2 wires, and that's using RS485. If you've seen our other videos, we talk about the controllers having A1, B1, A2, and B2. Same thing here on the Clear Light controller. Now, every piece of equipment from Jandy, Hayward, and Pentair, and others, Black & Decker included, typically come with a 4-port terminal. So I have a Jandy pump screen here that's been removed. If you flip it over, you'll find that there's this red 4-port terminal, and it's marked with red, black, yellow, and green. Now, some of the vendors choose to designate based on color, but unlike Jandy, I have a Hayward plug here from a pump, which shows a marking of 12 volts, A, B, and COM. So these vary from vendor to vendor. And the tough thing is about figuring these out is just remembering which colors go to what. But in general, we will find that A1 and B1 off the controllers must always in some way be connected to the 2 middle pins, or black and yellow, or like with Pentair, green and yellow. And so the Clear controller essentially recognizes how to talk to the pump and the salt cell all over just 2 wires. Now, we'll make one other note that salt cells, and you'll see this in the app when you're setting up a salt cell, salt cells also require the ground and the 12 volt port to be connected in order to work. So they will need both the A1 and B1 wires hooked up, and they will need a ground and a minimum of a 12 volt power source. So what's interesting when you look at wiring these up is if, let's say you have a Clear controller and we have a pump and we have a salt cell that we want to hook up. The great thing is actually we can take the pump and we can take the salt cell and we can connect these on A1 and B1 of the controller or Clear Light controller. And if we are controlling both the pump and the salt cell, they can be on the same network. We can also add a chemical probe that you get from Clear and perhaps a pressure probe. All these can be connected on the same network. Now, let's get to a case where you want to leave an easy touch system in place that's controlling a variable speed pump already, but you have a customer or you yourself bought a new salt cell that you'd like to control. So this is kind of neat because the Clear controller can actually leave your easy touch in place, and using A1 and B1, we can hook up to monitor the pump, but then you can use A2 and B2, which is a separate RS485 network, to control the salt cell, and you can also read chemistry readings from the chem probe. So this is why we split the A1 and B1 network and the A2 and B2 network over RS485, and then in the app you configure which network the equipment is on. And we do this so that for many different configurations you can control everything on one network, or if it's a little bit more tricky, you can monitor a pump on one network and control equipment on the other. So it's an overall challenging piece to approach, but we give you some great options when hooking up the automation system. And check out our equipment hookup videos for how to do this in real time. Thanks.